Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, moms and dads, welcome to another epic midweek review featuring the 2020 Nissan Kicks, coming in to challenge the Honda Vezel, the SX4, the Suzuki Escudo, the CX30, the CX3, the GLA, the XC40. And I know you're asking, mbona hizi gari ni mingi sana in this segment? Because the dynamics of how consumers are behaving right now is slightly changing, and that means more people who are making money and getting older are shifting their needs from luxury sedans to now practical subcompact SUVs like what the Nissan Kicks represents. But this is not your normal kawaida Nissan Kicks. This is actually the Nissan Kicks e-Power. Let's get into the shenanigans of what Nissan has packed for us on this platform and see, does it edge out the Vezel, does it edge out the CX30, and is it providing better value for money? That was quick. That was very quick. And boys and girls, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please, our road this year is getting ourselves to 500,000 subs. And the good thing is, it is you guys who are going to make that happen. So take a second, take a minute, pick your subscription button, like the video, and leave me a comment pale chini, because if you do those three things, believe me when I say that this video will get to as many people as possible, because choosing between a subcompact SUV has become more like the chess card that Sifuna is playing with ODM. You don't know where it's going, but you can't tell where it's going. And today I'm going to help you narrow down your choice. And of course, these cars be given to us courtesy of KDG Imports. Kimbia pala Long Gong Road opposite Prestige Mall. Hapo ndo penye jamaa wako. Find a guy called Ibra. Should be able to hook you up with very many awesome options of any car that you're looking for a good price. Let's get into this interesting review of the Kicks e-Power. First, I'm digging the look of how these Kicks look like Kicks. Okay, the V-Motion Nissan design look. This is what you get mostly on all Nissans right now, the modern Nissans. If you look at the new Nissan Note E13 e-Power, same design, same look. The only difference, the dynamics of how the shape is. And the good thing is, if you buy another trim level that is slightly higher than this one, you can get a front-facing camera hapa mbele, which is something that most guys in this segment are not doing, except the CX30. I saw one with a front-facing camera, but Nissan can actually give you a provision of having a front-facing camera, a reverse camera, but I'm not sure about the 360-degree on the side mirrors. But that is something special. This car looks nice. Of course, your headlights, pure full LED with the daylights running strip that looks nice. Then you have your chrome finish up and down with the name Kicks on it, just to bring out how beautiful. Tell me, hapo chini, last time we had the CX30 here, we all agreed that the CX30 looks nice. Can we also agree that this one looks sumptuously nice? Okay? Then of course you have your active fog lights pale, in case you're taking corners, that will light up to show you the way. And then you have some few chromes up, baby. Yeah. Which is very nice, interesting. So, you're voting hapo chini kwa comments. Which one looks better in the entire category? I'm going to put this one against the Vezel, and I'm going to put it against the CX30. I believe the others don't look as interesting. Oh, let's do the Peugeot 2008 as well. Which one of the four looks beautiful and awesome to our eyes? The one that takes the biggest vote, tunachukua tunaenda road trip. Now, coming to the side profile, because this is where I feel there's something more interesting to talk about. We've talked about the Fortuner, you talked about the Range Rover, and there's something similar that you get on those cars that you also get on this car, and that is the blacked out floating roof. Of course, you still have your gray finishing at the top to just differentiate that this is the top and this is the bottom, because this is the color of the car. Beautiful, awesome. And this particular car from KDG, it has come with a very nice subtle spoiler to just make it more interesting. First of all, let's come back here. So what do we get? Of course, you get, being a subcompact SUV, I expect you get these plastic paddings all the way from the wheels claddings all the way to the rear wheels as well. The same thing you'll get on a CX-3, CX-30. I believe the only car that doesn't have, is it the Suzuki Escudo? Yeah, but most of them will come packed with all those plastic claddings to make sure that it protects your wheel, protects the body in case you want to go for an adventure drive. But this one has been brought in and made better because you have this grey body finish to just bring out the signature look of the Nissan Kicks. Karibu niseme Toyota Kicks. By the way, there is another Toyota that is coming in to compete with this car, which is called the Toyota Yaris Cross. And we are going to get that one as well and see how does it stack up against the Nissan Kicks. Now, the floating roof is also complemented by the black side mirrors with your LED side blink on them. Beautiful, awesome. Now, let's get into tech kidogo, because this is where things get a bit interesting. If you're buying any hybrid car, you need to know that the brake systems are very important to any hybrid. Why am I saying so? Because the braking system works as an auxiliary energy harnessing point using regenerative braking, and then that energy is taken back to be saved inside the battery, which is used to drive the car, right? Now, one thing that most hybrid cars like Toyota have is they've came up with a different setup of the way their braking system is, which is very complicated, especially fielders. You know, most Toyotas, fielders and all that, their braking setup is totally different. If the braking pump and the braking hydraulic system fails, you have to replace. Now, guess what? We have disc at the front, disc at the rear, but this one is the most traditional brake setup. The same brake setup you'll get on an unhybrid. And why is the e-Power Kicks brake system so important in comparison to what you'll get on a hybrid Toyota? It's because unlike the hybrid Toyotas, which use a different design of their brake systems, this one actually uses a traditional braking system. Like your traditional vacuum hydraulic setup, just what you'll find on any other internal combustion engine, which makes it quite easier for servicing, replacement, and maintenance in general. But if you make a mistake and get yourself the other setups, if it grinds down, right now, nobody has mastered the art of repairing, so it means it's completely replacement. Sawa? Very beautiful and awesome. Now, come to the rear, because this is where things get more interesting, okay? We've talked about the front headlights and how they look, how they've been chiseled out. Now, at the rear, things are getting carved out. Now, you have very carved rear LED taillights, and I like this signature design here that mimics what you get at the front. But if you think that this shape will be kept like this when you're opening the boot, no, you are wrong. Let me open. No electronic tailgate on a boot equals straight. So this shape is just designed to accommodate the rear taillights, which is very nice. Now let's talk about practicality. So the boot space here, we are getting around 423 to 432 liters of practical boot space. And that is lower than what you get on a Vezel. It's lower than what you'll get on a CX-30, unfortunately. But it's all good vibes. And I believe anybody who's buying any car in this category, you're not looking for so much boot space. This is what you'll be working with. You know, the difference is in small liters, like 20, 30, 40. In this category, the space is quite competitive. Do we get a full spare wheel? No, you don't. You actually get a tire repair kit and an extra battery for the Nissan Kicks. Hapo nyuma, the extra auxiliary battery, like the normal 12 volts battery that you get on your car, yeah, you also get that one as well. But things get more interesting if you drop the second row of seats. Yeah, this one, they brought in this traditional one, which I don't know whether it can fit here. Can it? No, it can't. So if you remove this one, there's nowhere to put. You will have to, yeah, just, I don't know, throw it away. But if you drop these seats, there you go. It reveals more practical boot space, but it's not flat. That is something that you'll have to work with. It's not flat, so it leaves a big hump pale, which kind of takes away the beauty of having that space here. Again, you have a huge lip here when you're taking your stuff in and out of this car. So maybe if you don't like lifting your things up and down, this might be the reason why you might not buy this car. But in terms of practicality and boot space, I reckon it is accommodative. It's enough for this category. Sindio? Yeah, and before I wind out and allow us to look at what is under the hood of the Nissan Kicks e-Power and talk about one misconception or one myth that people have always gotten wrong about how the e-Power system works. I've just noticed something nice. So you have one camera here, then you also have another camera here. Those guys who own Nissan Kicks, tell us, what is the rationale of thinking here? What was Nissan trying to achieve? Do they want to see people who are coming behind in 3D or what? I don't know. You tell me, but you have, courtesy of having two cameras. They should have put one at the front. Let's check out what is under the hood and talk about the e-power technology and discuss, is it the most reliable Nissan technology ever? And does it offer value for money? Is it a stable platform that you should invest your money, especially if you think about buying any hybrid car right now in this segment? So if you're out looking for a Kicks, a Nissan Kicks, you can get it with a variety of engine options, but those are special for different markets. I'm not aware or sure if you will get those ones from Japan. However, you can get it with a 1500cc HR15 or a 1600cc HR16. And those are loosely available in those other markets. I know anything can be achieved right now. You can ship anything from everywhere. But what we exclusively get in dominant numbers from Japan is the Nissan Kicks e-power, which is standing right besides me. And what you get under the hood is the HR12 naturally aspirated generator, as you guys said, engine, which has two functions. Function number one is, of course, to generate electricity to charge the battery, and function number two is to generate another electricity that works with motor one and which is connected to motor number two to drive the wheels. And I'm going to explain how that works, because one of the biggest misconceptions has been that this engine is the only work that it does is to charge battery, which in turn the other motor gets the battery power and runs the wheels, which is essentially driving this car. Now let me give you a breakdown of how the setup is. So up above you have an inverter. You know what an inverter is? It's to invert current or energy from whether it's being generated by the engine or being plugged into the battery or being taken from the battery and being injected in the electric motors to drive the wheels, okay? Which is something that now you know. Here we have two electric motors. We have what we call the integrated starter generator, which is motor number one. And then we have the EM57, which is motor number two. Now the EM57, which is the main motor, that is what is connected to the front wheels. That's what drives the car. Now that EM57 gets energy or power from two sources. Source number one is the battery. If you're doing normal city coasting and your battery is filled up and the car doesn't need to charge, that is where the main motor will get the energy to drive your car, and this car will be very silent. It's like an electric car, okay? And then now the first motor, which is motor number one, its work is one, to even start the engine so that you get the energy flowing. And number two, it's also connected to the second motor, which is the main motor. Between those two, the first motor can also connect and pick energy from the engine and use a bit of that, especially when you get this car in sport mode, to actually power on the main motor that drives the wheels. Hapo tuko sawa? So in short, yes, the engine charges the battery, but the engine, the excess power or the energy harness from the engine is also used by motor number one, which is connected to motor number two, which is the main motor that drives the wheels, to also power that motor and make this car feel sporty. Talk about sporty, 129 horses is what you get from this setup that is combined, and in terms of torque, you're getting 260 Newton meters of torque. However, the battery and the electric motor number two, which is the EM57, can give you an instant torque of 280 Newton meters of torque. That means if you put down your feet instantly, uko na 280 Newton meters of torque. Bro, that is serious torque. That's why this car will always show most cars on the road dust. Before you catch up, umse ashaenda. Hapo tuko sawa? You've learned something about the e-power. In terms of reliability, top notch. This is e-power version 2, meaning there are so many improvements that I've made on it to make sure that it's robust and reliable. It's a very, very beautiful setup and design from Nissan. And the only unfortunate thing is the next generation after this. This is the P15. P16, they got rid of the e-power. Nissan, what are you doing? I don't know what they're doing, but I reckon the next generation looks better than this one. Wacha Fabian aweke picha up. Just look at it. It looks nice, beautiful, aggressive. It's just a nice car that you'll want to own. But I wish they would have kept the e-power. But again, Nissan are struggling financially. Let's see where that goes. So let's check out the interior before we drive this car with Mugwa and the other man. And then we see how interesting this car drives. Now, in this category, there's one thing we'll agree. You will find a lot of plastics, plastic. But the good thing is, there is a leather padding just right where you put your hand, which is thoughtful. That's where I'll be resting my hand. It has to be soft to the touch, right? Comfortable seats, tuck in quite well. I like the padding. It's soft. You'll enjoy. Then you have these are semi-leather, semi-cloth setup, but you don't have an armrest. You don't get cup holders, but in the door, you get some door bins there, which can store maybe a liter of a bottle there if you're driving or having an adventure. Away from that, you get one USB charging port hopper with 3 reminders to all of you sitting here, the 3 people, that you need to tie your seatbelt. And if you don't, it makes a lot of noise. Yeah, that one you have to know. Okay, let's see. How is the third guy comfortable? You guys said we should do this test. So now this is a clip of me, Fabian, and Bugwa trying to fit into the third row seats. Hey, my lord, my lord. Tunaweza na road trip. Something that you need to pay absolute attention to if you're going to buy any e-power, be it the Note or the Kicks. Listen to this. Kenyans, please, East Africa, whoever is watching this video, from wherever you are, it's cleanless. Why do I say so? I say so because this cabin is what houses the battery of the e-power. And this one being the Kicks, it has a slightly bigger battery. So this one will give you a slightly more range in terms of driving the car and moving the car from point A to point B, unlike the Note. Why am I saying it should be clean? It should be clean because lack of cleanliness, dust, particles, and dirt in general will go into the fans. The fans are just below this seat here. And I'll allow Fabian to take a picture of it. But that's where the fan picks the air from and cools your hybrid battery. Okay? So if you make it dirty, it means the fans will clog up, the filters on the fans will clog up, and your cooling will be impaired. And in turn, you're looking at a bill that is extremely expensive to either replace or change some of those battery cells or modules. So one thing on this one, if you're going to buy any of these, please adhere to cleanliness and make sure your cabin is always cooler. Okay, so this one is the only car that I will advocate and encourage you to always use the AC. Plus, what moves the AC is not the engine, it is the ISG. So you are not losing any fuel. Okay, so this one, weka AC on, allow this cabin to be very cool and maintain cleanliness of the highest order. Nissan thought about safety. You have a camera here. It will help you with things like lane departure, lane assist. And depending on the trim you go with, you can get extras like rear cross traffic alert, blind spot warnings here on the pillars. This one doesn't have because this should be the basic trim, but you can get all those options depending which trim you get. Even the seats. This one that you see here are your leather cloth, but you can get full leather. And there are those ones that have a very distinct color. I don't know whether it's orange. There's a color exterior orange and the interior is orange. They've just matched up quite well. And that is among the highest trim levels that you get. So it's down to which trim you're going for. And again, that will determine the price. On top of safety, there are via an SOS button that Nissan have decided you can press in case you need help. However, we are not connected on any Nissan support helpline here locally. So this is as useless as in Doge. Oh, there's an import. Okay, so you know what I mean, right? Let's come back here. So a simplistic design of the infotainment screen which mimics a PSP. You guys know, do you guys know a PSP? Oh, you guys are Gen Zs. You only know PS5. Kwenda mbele. Oh, so Android, Apple CarPlay. This one I can't confirm because it doesn't have its card, but I know it comes from the factory with either Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, or in some instances, Apple CarPlay only without Android Auto. It depends which one you bought. So I presume this one you'll get the same setup. You get a single zone climate, no dual, and that is how you adjust it. You have real buttons and like a small digital display. Then down here you get the most interesting, beautiful gear shifter that I love on Nissan to just move you from R, N, drive, and B, which is for mostly regenerative braking. Now, I will talk about some of the driving features when you're driving this car, but you need to know that there is a very aggressive regenerative braking and a one-drive pedal on this car when you put it on eco mode or when you put it in sport. And I'll talk about that when you're driving. Coming back to the steering, multifunctional with a flat bezel On this side, you control the infotainment. On this side, you do the cruise control. And then there is a button here to armor your car. You know, the technological features I've talked about, you know, blind spot assist, you know, front collision, rear collision mitigation. And that button is right here. So you can turn it off and on, but you can arm it here again using this blue button. Storage compartments, 2 cup holders, 1 charging port hapa. I don't know why Nissan are going with one port at the front and the rear, but you get a 12-volt socket hapo in case you want to add extra charging points. Then you have your fully EV mode, driving mode, which you can click and toggle. This car will stay fully in EV mode. Then you have your driving mode, which technically changes from normal, eco and sport. We'll talk about that when you're driving the car. Then you have your glove compartment, which is huge. Then you have another storage here which you can store your phone. Is there anything below it? No, there's nothing. So there's just that. Then you have your huge cabin doors for adventure road trips. Na watu wanachana hiyo kitu. Yeah, and before we drive, more plastic, but you have soft leather. A mixture of both. Na kama unaishi Rongai, tafadhali usinunue hii Power. Kama unaishi Kajiado generally, na wewe na vumbi ni hapa. Unless utakwenda kutana na Nyambu the motorist all the time akufanyia service. Don't try. Let's drive this car. Welcome to driving with the boy, Mr. Mbugua. Leo kafugoka kona homa. Sasa mtakasamea.
Homa inanimaliza bana.
Kana is dying.
Lakini review lazima niwaite. Lazima nikae hapa. Lazima niwape verdict.
Yes my friend. So welcome to the Kicks e-Power. Last time we did the Nissan e-Power, we had the Nissan Note, the previous gen. So hii ni second generation ya e-Power technology. Revised, improved, better. Something that is instantly good. Na hiyo tunaweza agree Mr. Richie. Tumekaa kwa Nissan mingi sana. Ni suspension.
Na pia build quality.
Na build quality. No suspension.
This time I feel kama
una feel kama hapo umechipe na.
Hapana, this time I don't feel like, at least tuko tunaona tu leather.
Kuna tu leather.
Hapa kwa kiti on the, you know.
But Nissan has always killed it in terms of build quality.
Yes.
Even the suspension feel, but it's good.
The suspension feel is there. Unajua tukiwa hapa.
Yes.
This is the setup in Kilimani nowadays. Mashimo kila mahali.
Hata kwa hiyo shimo siku expect the feel.
Exactly. Look at this. Comfortable.
Very nice.
But one thing I love about Nissan is how
spacious.
I don't know how they do it on their small cars.
But you feel like you are, even if the space is not as big as it looks,
but
you
still
feel big.
From the Nissan days.
Yes.
Remember the Nissan Serena, as much as we talk, we crucify the Serena
about it, yeah, but it's
one of the best when it comes even to like the word practicality itself.
Yeah. It's featured better in the Serena.
Exactly.
Thank you very much. Angalia visibility. Go everywhere, you can see everywhere you're driving this car.
Do you feel like this pillar is too big for you?
No. Somehow I don't feel like there is no it's a blind spot. I feel it's okay for because hapa nimeingia kwa kona. I didn't feel like it's blocking me that much.
Kuna gari zingine I think they've pushed it mbele hapa.
Yeah. So it's a very nice setup. In terms of the Nissan e-Power setup, nimewaambia hapo the way the engine works. Kama sasa nikikanyaga, so nasikia engine inaanza nguruma. Yes, instant torque. No, you have 280 my friend. Of instant torque. And that is not even in sport mode. Ikiweka sport mode sasa, sport mode nawekea hapa. Acha niweke sport mode. Sasa hapa inakuwa sikia.
Okay. It does give you that
beautiful, yeah.
You know, the way you'd feel in a gasoline car.
Yes. But you see the engine kicks in. As I said earlier, so the engine is doing two things. Because once you rev the car, you can hear the engine revving, right? It means it's doing two jobs. One, it's air, and the whatever the lane assist is aggressive.
It's aggressive.
Yeah, I can hear it. It's making noise. So the engine is charging the power. At the same time, it's contributing a bit of power to the other motor that is connected to the main motor which is driving the wheels. That's when unasikia engine pia ina rev. Yeah. So the excess power is being saved. Alafu regenerative braking ni moto. Kiwachila like unafanya one pedal driving, which is very good. I love it. I know you don't like it, but for me I love it.
Something I don't like is the cup holders. I feel they're too small.
Yeah, no, the sizing there. There are a few things in this car like the charging ports.
One
cheap and
one charging port.
No, hapo alitucheza.
You know.
No, hapo alitucheza.
But in the terms of practicality, hapa nyuma, tunajua watu wameona tumeketa hapa nyuma. Na pia the seats. Bro, wamesema watu wakubwa hapa tumeangukia, as you can see.
Yes, we are tucked in quite well.
I'm tucked in quite well.
Yes.
Yeah, the headroom, ona.
Unafit tufanye 0 to 100. Wacha Fabo ingie tufanye.
Wacha tufanye 0 to 100.
Ndio.
Yeah.
To confirm. Last time nilipata 8 seconds.
But
Na not e-power.
Not e-power.
Yeah. Let's see if we can get better numbers on this one. So before we do 0 to 100, guys, do you feel that talk? Aka kitu kako aggressive. How do you call this thing? The lane assist, lane departure thing.
Nika kengele.
Yeah, this is a very nice car. I like it. Come on. How do we turn on that thing?
So, you know,
There's nowhere to turn it off, eh?
should be.
Listen to that talk. Come on. Okay, I feel it. So, one of the weakness of the e-power, 0 to 100, very dope. Once you start picking up
Away
speed,
from
once you-
you're done.
flat spot.
You're done.
Yeah, no, you're done. Now the other guys will just be eating you like ice cream for
Come as
breakfast.
mama.
Yeah.
But I guess
But
that's
it's good. The picking up is good. I think what you need is that authority to start off. Okay? But I felt once I go to 120,
I feel like if you have an extra motor in the rear, probably will have.
see that now 100 very good. Beyond that, it slows down. But let's do 0 to 100 and see. Because mostly Kenyans are interested in 0 to 100.
0 to 100
Yeah, but for me nataka thorax. Mi nataka thorax. Nataka nikifika 140 kwenda mbele. That is where I want power. So this one might not be ideal for me, but if you're a guy who likes short sprints, yeah, it's not like it gets absolutely slow up pale juu, but it's slow for a guy who knows what slow means. But for a guy who doesn't know, kama ningepatia Fabian hii hata hizi.
Ana feel ni kama anaendesha Fast and Furious.
Kwanza hapo. Ana vile ako na Ford Mustang. Anaruka tu ana jump line. So can we do 0 to 100 and confirm whether we're getting better numbers on the Kicks e-power? I know there is weight to body ratio. We also have 3 guys here who have eaten well. Let's see, how does it score? And is it better than most of those other cars? I reckon the CX30 has more power. Of course, unaweza pata CX30 napaka 2.5 turbo. But sasa 2.5 turbo.
Which is the highest on this?
This one, I believe this one should be the highest. The other one, the NA.
2 liter.
No, there's no 2 liter. 16. Yeah. Either 1.6 or 1.5.
1.6 turbocharged.
No, turbocharged. NA.
That's the higher.
So it's not a sports car, but it looks better than that. That's a juke. This at least Nissan had me.
And they cancelled that because of this.
Yeah. That looks hideous. So tufanye 0 to 100. Natokea kitu ni poa. Nataka tu kanyaga. Let's do 0 to 100. Are you guys ready for 0 to 100? The good thing with one pedal driving is I don't need to foot brake. To brake boost. We are brake boosting where here.
What are you holding?
Nothing, my friend. Are you guys ready? Sasa tumesimama na dini. Sawa? In 1, 2, 3. Mugua 100 imefika. 100.
Yeah, again, 8 seconds.
That was quick.
8 seconds.
That was quick. That was very quick. Even though that takes that Rafo guy alikuja mbele yangu but I dodged him. Verdict out of 10, Mr. Richie.
I mean, this car,
yes.
I'll give it. It's a hard one, but with the price point and what I'm getting, compared to his competitors, I feel like I'm not losing anything much. To lose anything compared to maybe the XV. XV peke yake ndio non-negotiable, but for me I think a cool 9.
You go 9.
I'm going 9. It's an interesting car.
Fabian? 8. Why are you denying it? The 2. Fabian?
Practicality.
Okay.
Yes.
But it's not losing much. It's just close. How does it feel to sit
Yes, like I have to put my feet under a moko.
Okay.
Niketi vizuri, but for a long distance.
Yes.
In armrests, cup holders.
Okay. Interesting. So an 8 for you is decent.
Yes.
For me, I think I'll give it an 8.5. 1, ground clearance almost the same, around 6.7 inches. Number 2, fuel economy. I'm doing here 23.4 kilometers on a liter.
After
nimefinya. Sasa ni nini kinatafuta? Hizo gari zingine umetaja ziko na fuel economy kama hii.
Hapo.
Na reliability ya e-power top notch. I think I'll adjust mine to 9, Richie. I think I'll be with you.
I don't feel like this car, and it looks better than the Juke.
Yeah. Way better. Way better. Don't find the value for money. Don't find the value for money. So let's talk about value for money. So how much will this 2020 Nissan Kicks going to set you back? Kumbukeni, in Japan, you only have 2 trim levels. You either get this one or you get one that has been spec'd quite well for you. Now, this one will set you back 2.45 million Kenya shillings. Take a pause. So what else costs 2.45 million Kenya shillings? You'll realize and remember it's the Daihatsu Rocky or the Toyota Race. Anything else is slightly above that. If you talk about the Suzuki Escudo, you talk about 2.6, 2.7, 2.8 sometimes. You talk about the Vezel, 2.7, 2.8. You talk about the CX-30 worst, you're talking about 2.8. Recently, they have brought the price down. I don't know what changed. So we moved from 3.4 the way we are playing 3 mic, 2.9, 2.8 thereabout. So in terms of value, I believe the Nissan Kicks is going to kick all the other cars in terms of their value offer, because it offers a good package of reliability, dependability, good fuel economy, and at the same time, a package that looks as beautiful and stunning as it stands next to me. I've been your host, Olo Ibrahim Papas Kofu. Remember to hit that subscription button, leave me a like, give me a comment, and I'll see you on Sunday.